The hardest part about being cheated on isn't what you might expect. They think that the hardest part is going to be what's initially the hardest part, which is recognizing that your partner has slept with someone else. But that's rarely what will keep you up at night months and months into the future. One of the deeper cuts is the web of deception that was intentionally built to keep you in the dark. The lies, the cover stories, the deleted texts, just the careful manipulation of what parts of reality you were allowed to see. It's the fact that you were looking them in the eye, making plans about having a future together. And at the same time, they were actively constructing a whole other reality that they were keeping you in the dark from. And so when the truth comes out, it's rewriting your past. It's taking what was once pleasant, good, and something you cherished, and it turns it into this great mystery where you don't even know what you're supposed to feel about most of it, except for the pretty overwhelming sense that your life has been shattered and you've been betrayed. And what gets so many people, what gets so many of my clients, is the intentionality behind it. Many people will say that cheating was a mistake. They didn't mean to do it. But there were so many intentional deceptions that had to take place for you to get that far in the first place. It was so many choices with so many chances to turn around, and they never did. Kind of a weird comparison, but if you've ever studied the history of philosophy, you'll read about people like Immanuel Kant talking about being awakened from their dogmatic slumber. You have this whole set of ideas in your head that you assume to be true, and then reading this author or reading that book or engaging with this philosophical system takes all that and just breaks it in half. It's kind of similar when you've been cheated on. You had a picture of your family, you had a picture of your life, you had a picture of yourself, you had a picture of you and your partner, and it's just ripped to shreds. And oftentimes in reality, when it comes to like how we think about the world, we tend to be given space to reconnect the dots slowly, where we're not having to completely rewrite the entire story all at once. You might subtly shift a belief here, and then this belief shifts as well, and then you change this belief, and it's kind of a natural, smooth process. Once you discover the affair, all of those beliefs about the relationship and about yourself just go away all at once. And to make it even more confusing, one of the primary emotions people tend to feel after learning they've been cheated on is shame. They feel ashamed. They feel stupid. They feel like they should have known better. They feel like something dirty was done to them, or they almost feel like somehow they're guilty of doing something wrong themselves. Feelings of not being good enough, which you might not have felt since you were a little kid, and feeling like you were missing some validation from your parents or from peers, suddenly resurface, and you're like, holy crap, I haven't dealt with this for so long, where is this even coming from? And then with the shame, sometimes that turns into obsessive thinking, just getting consumed by the details of, if I had done this differently, or if I had done that differently, would things have been different? So you have shame, you have your whole worldview being turned upside down, and then just even your environment that you're used to being a source of comfort. You know, after a long day of work, people like to go home because home is comfort, home is safety. But now your home is a trigger. And it's not just home, it might be a restaurant where you're used to going with your partner and that felt like a safe haven. But then you found out that the affair partner was there with them. That's where they were spotted, perhaps. Or songs that were playing that were important in your relationship. Now you start wondering if they shared that song together as well. And now your life is just filled with these everyday landmines of triggers, exhaustion, confusion. And it's not just that you have to deal with those things, it's the fact that those things used to be places and songs and locations of comfort. And because of how surprising these landmines are, it's like you just have this background hum of vigilance. You have to always be on the alert because you don't know when the next trigger will pop up. So you have triggers and shame and all of this. Then there's the social dynamic. Despite being the victims of betrayal, so many people who've been cheated on will find that family and friends place a lot of weird pressure on them. Either pressure to do what they want. It's like, no, you need to forgive him. No, you need to forgive her. No, you need to leave. No, you need to stay. Or this pressure to keep things hush-hush. Because apparently, the family and perception and things looking good on the outside matters more than the individual person's safety. If you stay, you're weak. If you leave, you're unforgiving. If you express pain openly, you're dramatic. If you keep it private, you're in denial. Like, there's no winning when it comes to the social fallout dynamics. Now, these are usually more so the other person's problems. They're not really a reflection of you and your inability to cope with it. But it just adds so much more weight to everything. And it only gets more complex when it comes to mutual friends, because they might feel like they need to pick sides. And what if they knew the unfaithful partner longer than they knew the betrayed partner? They might just end up avoiding both of you. And now you're being punished for their actions. And if you don't work on this, if you don't work on healing the trauma that's causing these triggers, that's causing the shame, infidelity casts a very long shadow. Even many years later, if you don't address these things, your life will just be altered. You might be more cautious, more deliberate. Your ability to just surrender to the thrill and rush of love in a new relationship might be dampered. Your interpretation of behaviors might become overly suspicious. And beneath all of that, your relationship with yourself changes. Like, you don't trust yourself anymore. You don't forgive yourself. There's that underlying sense of shame. And so from all the clients that I've seen and helped work through this, the sexual part definitely is real. Like the pain of knowing they slept with someone else. But all this other trauma is so much more significant, and it's where the actual work needs to be done, more so than just the shock of finding out that they slept with someone else.